Okay, we took a long break after where we just left off there, but yeah, seems like we were just starting to get into the cast. We had a long break. We had a lot of food, some soup, some.
We found out that
ideas.
there's a metaverse in real life where there's Insane Clown Bossy and Paris Hilton, but not together at the same time.
Yeah, we were just looking at a bunch of New Year's Eve parties and stuff, and this Insane Clown Posse was on Twitch, and then Paris Hilton was on Roblox because that's what people want.
This is what the pandemic's reserved us to.
This is what.
This is 2020's.
You know, Paris Hilton on
Paris
Roblox,
Hilton,
Roblox.
The Roblox.
You can't even
The
make,
metaverse.
You can't even make a South Park joke. About that. That's literally
That's
what
the
it
joke.
is.
That's the joke. That's the joke.
That's reality.
I mean, that's why I don't like South Park funny. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's reality.
Yeah.
But-
Or in the Matrix. I don't know. Whatever.
But anyway, here's all the characters. They don't have Paris Hilton.
They don't have Insane Clown Posse.
They don't have Insane Clown Posse. They do have Yahya Abdul Mateen II as Morpheus.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that.
As the new Morpheus.
Yeah, he was formerly the
Is this a spoiler who he is in
Watchmen HBO. He's in Watchmen HBO. I guess we could say that.
He's like a main character in Watchmen HBO.
It's very interesting that he was casting that in this. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very useful character. Very important character.
Yeah.
And
In both films. Yeah.
In both films.
Yeah.
And then Jessica Henwick as Bugs, a.k.a. Bugs Bunny or whatever. The gunslinger with a white rabbit tattoo and captain of the Nemozine. I had trouble. I can barely see what those
I do know if that's
spell in my brain. Like
no offense to
Nemozine.
the language that wrote this. Yeah.
Nemozine. I have no idea if I'm saying that right. Nemozine. Let's take a look at that. Nemozine. Where's the pronunciation?
Okay, looking up what her character's about is pretty interesting. I didn't follow that. I guess I'm an idiot. Yeah.
Nemozine is a goddess of memory and the mother of the 9 muses. The same source says mnemonic for a mnemonic
Johnny Mnemonic.
device.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Memory and remembrance. So it's to help bring back. So it's basically the vehicle that brings back Neo's memory. Okay, that's cool. Jessica's Henwick describes her character as the audience's eyes. Yeah, very cool. That
makes sense. Yeah, I didn't think about it until I watched.
She's the new character that's like re-seeing these characters in a new light and stuff.
Yeah,
even though she's not the main character, quote unquote. But yeah, Jonathan Groff is Smith.
He's
Neil Patrick Harris. Wait, what are you gonna say?
He's King George III. I didn't know that.
Jonathan Groff is.
He's gonna tax the Matrix.
It's good. You'll be back soon. You'll see.
I'm not gonna take away my shot.
No, that's not what they. That's not what they. Anyway, they got to rebel against Agent Smith. Also, like, I'm not exactly sure in this movie how, since we're in the spoiler portion, I don't know exactly how Smith comes back, and they don't really address that.
They just
and that was the whole point of like Matrix 3
to get rid of
that the machines and Neo work together to get rid of Smith somehow.
And he's not even Hugo Weaving, so like they don't really need to bring him back.
Yeah, so it's very weird. I don't know. And like then somehow he becomes a threat in this too.
And like Morpheus is an agent earlier in the film, and they don't really explain why that is.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, maybe the star of the cast in this movie is Neil Patrick Harris, the analyst. Like he really is like the star, giving the star performance of this movie.
He has a lot of material to work with. He's like the main villain.
Yeah.
He has a lot of stuff to do.
He's the analyst. Yeah. He's like the only one in this that has like a weird name like the Merovingian, the Keymaster, the whatever. Yeah. Like so he's the analyst. Yeah. They only had room for one of these characters, but he kind of does the legwork of all of it and does pretty good job. He does an excellent job of it, honestly. Yeah. So you kind of don't need more. And he's masquerades as Thomas's therapist, but he also I don't know. It's also there's a whole dynamic between him and things, and also his arrangement.
So
his arrangement with machines and stuff.
So. I really like how they use the metal from like, is he really in the Matrix? No, you're not well, and like you have to take the pill to like make sure all that stuff is going on, and then
Exactly.
I was hoping like in the end like they were going to do something with that, but it doesn't end up being that revolutionary.
Yeah,
or that well written.
It just kind of becomes an action movie.
It becomes a C-list story instead of an A-list story. It doesn't have like a Fight Club ending or something.
Yeah, it's nothing like that mind blowing, really.
Yeah.
Like it's not like what you would expect. It's like, it's like making you think about.
Are we in the Matrix in real life, or is he in the Matrix? Or
yeah, but like, there's like other things that have done that in better ways since the original
they didn't do
Matrix.
anything remotely like that.
Then you're kind of hoping like since this is the follow up to the original Matrix, that's gonna do something to the next level of like, oh shit, like this is even a whole nother thing or whatever.
Yeah. Nope.
But it's no. The world, the kind of art, like everyone else is kind of caught up to the Matrix in terms of like doing this sort of thing. So it's really not like they did something that different. What should we get into like all the lore they got into in the middle part of the movie?
Go ahead.
I think we're feeling that, right?
I'm releasing the chains. Go ahead.
So the lore in the middle part of the movie is basically explaining the events that happened between the end of the third movie and leading up to this movie. And they spend like a good 40 minutes of just nonstop exposition and like walking around like this new Zion place and stuff. And like saying like all the things that have changed since Neo's was around since last time. And like how the machine and like a whole bunch of stuff. I don't even know where to begin with all that. But like they just kind of gloss over all of it. And like they just like say like, yeah, this all happened. Well, I guess we got to figure out what to do now. And it's like, well, what happened to all that? That's like 10 movies worth of content right there. Is what I was saying during break too. It's like they just kind of like said, yeah, this is a thing, this is a thing, this is a thing. Do you want to get into any of that? Yeah, like
I'll help you out with it.
Where to start with any of that?
A lot of these like they talk a little bit about like, oh, we're gonna die. That's the thing. Outside that, they don't really do much with the characters. There's like people who are like, oh, we studied Neo, or like, oh, you're a legend, and that's the whole gimmick.
Right.
Or their rank or something.
There's some people who like has dedicated their whole lives to worshiping Neo and his life, and like that doesn't really matter that much. Like, they don't elaborate on that too much.
They're like, wow, we're gonna side with the machines. We have machines on our side. We have machines and holograms like making artificial organic fruit or vegetables or whatever, and then that never goes anywhere.
Right, so they spend a good amount of time talking about how like now in their new society they've been able to actually grow real. They make a big deal out of how they can grow strawberries, and like in the lore of that world, it actually is a big deal. You can understand it, but you know they don't do anything with it really. And then
I think we bought strawberries and we're like, we're going to strawberries, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would be more interesting if they did carrots because of the whole Bugs Bunny thing and the rabbit thing, yeah.
Yeah, they also talk about how like there's just machines like squid machines just chilling. They're like, hey, we respect humans. We're around. We'll help you out to lift your groceries and stuff. Like we'll do DoorDash.
Just like, wait. Those are machines. Oh, they're on our side, and then they don't explain to them or anything.
They explain like it in one word, like, oh yeah, they're chill.
Like, yeah, whatever. This is a thing now. Yeah, don't worry about it.
They're cool.
Yeah.
Okay. And like, what's that? It's like, oh, that's that's an AI inside the Matrix that can manifest itself in the physical world using nanomachines. Oh, that's a thing now? Yup, it is. And then that's it.
I think that's literally what they said.
They don't go any further than that.
That's literally what they said.
That's all they do. And yeah, that's a whole thing. And then also they went on a whole thing with how Morpheus, the original Morpheus, had like gone on a whole rant about trying to capture back Neo from the machines and stuff. And then Morpheus sacrificed himself during the events of Matrix Online. They have a statue. That's about it. They don't go into that either. And basically they just jump straight into like, okay, we got to save Trinity. Blah, blah, blah. We need volunteers and stuff. And, you know, many of you might not come back. And like, yeah, let's all do it. You know, we don't have names. we have
names and we have no character.
We have no investment in these characters. Also, all of them turn out fine in the end anyway. Like a lot of people like
so they survive.
Feels like they keep raising the stakes further and further and further, but nothing is ever really lost.
It'd be like if
everything turned off. It's like a tokusatsu.
It's like the Death Star, like when they attack the Death Star. Like if it ever survives, like there's no drama in it.
Yeah, it's like everyone does the Death Star run, and like everyone's like, "Oh, okay, that worked out."
Yeah, that worked out.
Like we're going on the Death Star run, and like none of us are gonna make it out of here.
They're alive.
Like, oh, okay, that was actually not bad.
I don't know. Maybe there's a counter Hollywood trope or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it would have helped if they had like
I don't know.
characters to begin with.
They have to make it work in some way, even if it is a counter Hollywood. If they want to make it an anti-trope, they have to make it work storytelling-wise or something, or still make drama in some other way. There was a lot of other stuff to focus on with like the more personal dynamics between Neo, Trinity, and the Analyst and stuff. So that seemed to be the focus. So like, I guess I did that since that was the focus of the story. Maybe I didn't mind as much that there wasn't as much of a body count, but it kind of did feel like there wasn't as much stakes as a result. I also think we kind of went up for the bathrooms during the part when they went into zombie mode during like the end sequence in the movie, and I don't know if we missed that much.
You missed one part, like they're using the bots or whatever as bombs. Like they were just jumping out of the buildings to try and blow them up.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess you don't care.
Okay, that's a thing. I guess whatever. It's Fortnite,
Yeah.
Oh, Neo, you need to save us from Fortnite.
South Park night.
No, you need to save us from the Fortnite.
You figure South Park would have made a Fortnite parody by now. I figure a lot of people would play that.
The original Matrix came out around the time when
South Park
humor, South Park humor, and like internet humor. There is so many internet animations inspired by the Matrix. When I went on Newgrounds growing up, it was unreal. Like, like they even referenced like the Matrix spin in like Shrek 2 or whatever. It's just such a trope. Yeah, I don't know. Given how much I was like building up this whole movie in my head, or I don't know. I mean, I'm giving concluding thoughts already, but I don't know if we should go over some other stuff first. But yeah. Anyway, any spoiler thoughts about the ending or anything like that? Or there's like some good action sequences that are okay.
My friend liked what it meant in terms of real life stuff. I didn't, which is fine, but I felt like I think I mentioned it already. I wanted more of a thing where they did something with the Analyst and Neo that was more like a 1999 ending, like that was mind blowing or something, and that never happened.
I feel like that's really vague. Can you explain?
Like I said before with he's really in the Matrix or he's not really in the Matrix, something like that, and they never did that.
Okay. Like a waking life or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, maybe they don't want to go that direction.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it just became like he saved the day. He saved the day. He used the Matrix powers to save the day. It's actually
he uses way too much of the Force powers in the It's plus like them just dodging the missiles. But I guess I don't
he's
know.
Older.
He still does the John Wick stuff, I guess. But I don't know if he gets injured for one film. He's injured for 2 films that he's starring in.
I think he was doing both films at the same time, so he was pretty fit for both of them.
Yeah,
for the new John Wick.
He was probably a little bit tired.
Back to back filming.
Wow, this is a gig economy. I got 2 movies I got to do at the same time, which we'll call combat training.
Do you have any thoughts to compare and contrast this with the Bill and Ted movie that you saw, the new one?
Not at the moment. It's pretty different. I thought the Bill and Ted sequel was actually pretty good. It's like a combination of the first 2, and it's like all you would want from a Bill and Ted film. Even if you didn't like Bill and Ted, you would really like it. I feel.
Oh, okay.
All
right. I mean, Keanu, I feel like
it sucked because like it wasn't released in theaters. I think it was in the middle of the pandemic when it got released.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, solid HBO Max movie. I don't know if I don't feel like I would have like. I don't feel like if it's a must-see to see in theaters.
I feel like a lot of people would not want to watch to see a sequel in cinemas. It wasn't like at the height of Omicron or anything when this was happening, but like, it's alright. It's not. I won't say it's must see. I won't say.
I enjoyed watching it on HBO Max though. It was fine enough. Watch it.
I paid the extra $5 for it. Yeah.
Watch it on an HD TV at home if you have an HD TV. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
4K. Why not?
With the analyst, I forgot about the cat. Like, I thought the cat in the first film was going to be like... So they introduced the cat. He's like, wow, is he like the mastermind of like all the other films?
Yeah.
But like... He's just sort of like a servant for the analyst. I guess they don't really go into the depth with it, yeah.
Yeah. Neil Patrick Harris is a cat guy.
In real life?
In this movie.
Okay, yeah, definitely, yeah.
That fits his character, I think.
Yeah.
But, the cat, seeing a cat... I saw a meme that was like, The Matrix Resurrections is the only movie where seeing a cat twice is a bad thing.
It's a black cat, too, so maybe it was a bad thing, yeah.
Black cat, too.
Deja Vu. The original film, too. Deja Vu, yeah.
Yeah, cat was the symbol of deja vu in the first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, sign of an omen or whatever.
Or like a glitch in the system or something, yeah.
I think it was originally just a throwaway thing in the first movie.
Yeah.
But then they really brought it back as like a whole like idea in this movie, the cat.
It's more of like, same with like the blue pill and the other stuff. It's like mythos rather than thematic stuff, yeah.
Yeah, now it's like a whole deal. Like now like the Matrix has like created so much vocabulary in the real world. Yeah. For like, this is what the red pill is. This is what like jacking in. This is what being. It's like we're in the Matrix or whatever. Yeah. Like it's such a normal thing to talk about. This is what bullet time is. Like it's such a cultural touchstone. Like how do you even live up to it? It's kind of like it's kind of like even beyond like being a new Star Wars movie because it's like so philosophical even in terms of like.
This is a very philosophical film, which is why I appreciate it more than the second and the third film.
Yeah.
The bullet time stuff. Not so much in this film, but at least is alright.
They do an interesting iteration on bullet time too, with the analyst.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's pretty cool. It's sort of like Quicksilver. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also meant to. But not only is it cool, it also furthers like the message of like the story of like how the Matrix is powered in this movie too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
They don't use They don't use phone booths anymore.
Yeah, they don't use phone booths because phone booths are out of date.
It's sort of weird, though, because there's like a whole Superman thing where they go use the phone booth thing, but now it's like they use mirrors, which I feel like now I would rather them use like Wi-Fi or like a hotspot or something instead of a phone booth.
And then Wi-Fi's everywhere.
Yeah, a mirror's just like, it's not as good, I feel.
Mirror ties into the whole White Rabbit through the looking glass kind of thing. It's fine.
It's okay, yeah. It's like when they use with the pills, yeah. I remember like in the first film, like they look at an Alice in Wonderland book and like Simicra or whatever, and they don't have like stuff like that. And then unfortunately.
Yeah.
What else? Or like the whole hotel room, like numbers and stuff.
Yeah, like watching this movie kind of makes me appreciate how much I wasn't old enough to understand the first movie.
Yeah.
When I was like 10 years old or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely, this movie is definitely a good opportunity to make people rewatch the first movie again.
Yeah.
Especially now in contemporary times, given all this stuff going on now.
Yeah.
And like, this movie coming out, I like overhyped it in my head because I was like, this is the movie we all need to watch now because it'll probably have something important to say about everything going on with like, fucking NFTs or whatever. Like,
the curve went in that direction. It could have been really good if they had done that. But
that's what I was thinking. I was building it up like they were gonna go in all these.
They were trying to do that with the Merovingian, and I felt it failed horribly. I don't know if like
that was like
that's terrible. Like Mark Zuckerberg, it had nothing to do with
Mark Zuckercuck. I think he said that. Mark Zucker suck.
Mark Zucker suck. Yeah.
Mark Zucker suck. Yeah, it's just really.
There's no Facebook in their universe. So it doesn't make any sense.
They're in San Francisco.
There's San Francisco, yeah, that's true.
There's Silicon Valley.
Also, like, I don't know, like, HBO producers historically have really failed at, like, delivering good cuts of films.
Yeah.
With, like, superhero films. I wonder if part of it was cut from, like, this film that would have made it really good.
Yeah, I wonder if it's going to be, like, a Snyder cut kind of situation.
Yeah.
That's a very good chance.
Yeah.
I would definitely watch, like, if they had a Snyder cut version, but, like, I don't want them to, like, constantly go through the process of cutting it just so we watch it twice.
I think there's like three.
That's so frustrating.
I think there's like a third cut of the Snyder cut now at this point.
Oh my gosh!
You know? And
let's cut in the Joker, you know, even more. Let's cut the Joker in the Matrix, and let's put in LeBron James, the LeBron cut.
I don't know. I feel like people watch that though, like the Neo cut of the Matrix cut of Space Jam 2. There you go. Bullet time with the ball, the basketball.
Let's go, Scooby Doo gang.
Scooby Doo cut of the Matrix and of Space Jam.
Oh look, it's Debbie Harry. It's Don Knotts.
It's Don Knotts. It's who else is in like the Scooby Doo mysteries?
Looks like it's the Harlem.
It's Don Rickles. It's Don Rickles.
It's the Harlem Globetrotters, everybody.
It's the 50s comedy cinematic universe.
Yeah. Yeah, Jada Pinkett Smith's good.
Yeah.
She's aged like 60 years and with prosthetic makeup, but then
I didn't know it was actually her. Like you could tell it was her, yeah.
But then Keanu Reeves comes back as like 40 years older and he looks the same or whatever.
Well, he has a different like look to him than he does in the first 3 films. In the first 3 films, he has no beard. He has like a small cut.
Yeah,
this one he's like without wearing any leather at all.
This one his beard's grown out.
Looks like John Wick because like he can't do hair and makeup underneath films. He can't do like 50 hours of makeup every time he's like switching between. He kept
the same outfit he did as in John Wick, just the same on the budget of both movies.
Yeah, he's not wearing like any of that stuff.
I think Carrie-Anne Moss looks pretty good. She's in pretty good shape. She looks great.
She did the kick. Yeah.
Yeah, she's good.
Yeah. Hopefully there'll be more of her if they do a second film.
Yeah. I would like them to bring back Morpheus in some way. Bring back Lawrence Fishburne in some fashion.
In my opinion, it was sort of a weird movie though. Like, I'm going towards like bring back Trinity, but like I felt like a lot of the characters weren't necessary. Even Morpheus himself. I was debating on not even bring back Trinity because it was mainly the analyst. And I bet the Wachowskis we never talked about the Wachowskis interviews. Yeah, so they never wanted to bring back like in that moment. I felt like they wanted to bring in everybody because like their parents had passed away. So they wanted to like reunite with all their friends. But like in the story I felt like the whole conflict of the stories between Neo and the analyst and like the whole office thing and all that stuff was the most interesting to me. So I would have just kept those build around those two, plus like having all these other characters.
Yeah, but yeah. Okay, so are we ready for closing thoughts? I guess concluding thoughts.
Probably. Yeah, I forgot to talk about like some of the background stuff. So before we were wondering about why they didn't bring back Hugo Weaving. And like Lawrence Fishburne. And Lawrence Fishburne had another thing that came across. But like according to like the old notes of the Matrix that they were doing for like the last 20 years, like the original thoughts on a Matrix film was like, we don't want to bring Keanu back. Maybe they thought he was dead and like they don't want to do. They said before they don't want to do a reboot or like a remake or whatever. They wanted to make sure like everybody was dead.
Oh yeah.
But so they just wanted to do like a prequel or something with like young Morpheus or like a descendant of Morpheus. Like that could have been a whole thing,
right?
But instead they got stuck with like doing this film, which is like rehashing everything.
Right. So yeah, this whole movie just ended up being an FU to Warner Brothers to be like, oh, you want to do the same thing again? We're gonna make fun of you for making us do the same thing again. We're gonna make this an obnoxious rehash of a parody of like how people want everything wants to have rehashes and stuff like that. We're gonna have people who are stupid fans of people.
It's the Last Jedi of Star Wars, yeah.
We're gonna make the people in the movie who are fans of Neo and Trinity be insufferable to listen to. Also.
There we go. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
We're gonna make the people brainstorming things with the original Matrix, completely missing the point of the Matrix and how it was not supposed to be.
As if it was like a producer meeting or something.
We're gonna say Warner Brothers is a piece of shit studio directly in our movie. If you want us to do it, we'll do it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Like,
maybe they did have their hands tied, but they still managed to make it a fun movie at the same time.
So yeah, when they probably didn't want Morpheus in the film or whatever, but like they had, so as a negotiation, they just had a version of Morpheus that they would have done like if they had done a different film, basically.
Okay.
Is what my point of view on that is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, so I guess overall I'll go first with my thoughts.
Go ahead, yeah.
Overall, a pretty fun movie. Just introduces a lot of lore that they don't get into, unfortunately, but still a lot of things to chew on. Not quite the revelation of like all this technology that we're facing, but it did seem like the cast and crew had a lot of fun making the movie. I hope they make more stuff. It does help me have more appreciation for the previous movies, but overall, towards the end, it ended up being like earlier on, it was like this kind of fun, like parody of like games and movie making and stuff, and then in the middle, it was like this kind of more this adventure of discovery of like what the real plot is, but then towards the end, it ended up being like this more generic kind of action adventure kind of story where it's like a hero saves the day and saves the universe and kind of stuff. So overall, fun movie, and does a lot of shows a lot of interesting ideas, but I wanted it to go further, and overall it's kind of okay. But I like the movie overall. It was a lot of fun, but not mind blowing and not quite the tour de force as the original Matrix was. But overall, a fun movie, and maybe worth checking out on HBO Max and then checking out the other movies also.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I would definitely watch on HBO Max. I wasn't gonna give it a grade, but like I thought about the Trinity stuff, and it's worked. It's definitely better than the second and third film. Doesn't have the martial arts of it, but and if you like Miss Hugo Weaving, and they have them just not new footage, just archival footage, and they probably got paid for it.
Yeah. I just like thinking of like Hugo Weaving and his performance and stuff. I'm like, I just want to watch.
He's so iconic.
I want to watch.
You have Hugo Weaving and some guy from like Broadway, and like it's totally different.
I want to watch those movies again now, just because of like how like iconic that role was.
Yeah, and that perfect casting. Whereas this guy is sort of good, but like not Hugo Weaving casting good.
Yeah, it's a different person.
Yeah.
He's a good Silicon Valley CEO or whatever, but
and this is martial arts good, but like so there's that. I really like the beginning. I think that's the parts where David Mitchell wrote. The guy who did Cloud Atlas, the book and the novel and the film.
Okay, David Mitchell.
Yeah, 4 out of 5, 8 out of 10. They cover everything else. I think cover. Really good updated special effects. Looks good in like Ultra 4K or wherever they put it on HBO Max.
Yeah, I give this like a 7.5 out of 10 or something. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's about right.
I'm not gonna be super excited for the next film, but like if it's on HBO Max, I'll watch it. Yeah.
I really hope they just do more with this. Like in the
if they follow up and there's a great sequel, like why not, right? It's sort of like when they set up a lot. They set up stuff with like Dune and Star Wars Episode 7.
But like that's the thing is like they just keep stringing you along with this nonsense now with these cinematic universes now. That's like
yeah. I'd rather not be
just like make it a good thing for the one thing, right? You gotta just.
I'd rather it be like a Cloud Atlas than like a Marvel Matrix Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
Franchise, yeah.
Yeah. Just make the first thing good instead of just making me watch. I mean, if they do an Animatrix 2, that sounds like it'd be interesting too.
Yeah, but, I'm thinking about like a TV show and like that game for Unreal, but like the game looks a lot better than the original Enter the Matrix game for the Unreal game. Yeah.
Yeah, Enter the Matrix sounds like a terrible game.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a sequel.
I think I saw it get like 2 out of 5 on XPlay back in the day.
I found this pretty high. I was like, that's a negative 1 out of 5 for me. Yeah.
Negative 1 out of 5. It had like good FMV footage though, apparently.
Oh, okay.
With
but you couldn't get to it because like
okay, good.
the first level's impossible to beat.
Wants to play it.
Nobody wants to play it. It's like hard to beat, impossible to beat because like the controller's so bad. Yeah.
Wait, so that's Niobe as Jada Pinkett Smith. What's the Asian guy in Flight of the Icarus or whatever? Then like
I don't remember Flight of the Icarus.
Whatever happened to that Asian guy?
I don't.
He might have died or something.
That interesting notes here, which I didn't know how to establish, but since you mentioned it, like they were apparently used the original Agent Johnson from Matrix Reloaded.
Oh, really?
And apparently Tom Hardy was in the film just because, like, I guess like he wanted to be in the Matrix and it's like a cameo or whatever because he happened to be around.
Oh, he happened to be in San Francisco when Venom. Okay, that's funny.
It's weird. Like
he's like, hey, let me.
I figured it would be expensive. I figured it would be expensive to film in San Francisco, but they're just like everyone to film in San Francisco.
That's just really funny. He's just like, hey, I happen to be around. Can I be in this movie? I want to be in the Matrix. Okay, we can't.
I'm the guy from what you call it, Inception. There you go. It's all cyclical. Oh yeah, they had that one. They had one cool scene that looked like Inception. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like the thing is like there's been movies like Inception and Doctor Strange that have followed up from this movie, and all of Christopher Nolan's opus, and then like stuff like Dune and like the new Star Wars. Like there's been so many things that have come after this.
The effects didn't look as bad as like the Shang-Chi ending and what's the other thing that we mentioned? Yeah, it didn't look as bad as those things.
Thor: The Dark World or whatever.
No, it was something else. I forget what it was. But like the animation didn't look that good. Yeah, but I forget what it was. It doesn't matter. It's in the.
It doesn't.
Guys, yeah.
That's not saying much if you're talking about Shang-Chi, though.
Yeah, that's pretty low bar, but it looked pretty good. Yeah, it looked like what a 1999 version of this would be back then. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good piece. The special effects were good, fun action, but overall okay adventure movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With some elements of good parts, yeah.
And doesn't quite live to be a tour de force, but you know.
Yeah, definitely not a tour de force.
Yeah, but hopefully there'll be some good stuff to tie in or like build off of this.
Yeah.
All right.
You can't see me, but Pure BHD signing out, even though you can't see my wave.
And here I am.
And you can't see his wave, and his two fingers up.
Mudita heart, 2 fingers. All right.
All right.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Okay, we took a long break after where we just left off there, but seems like we were just starting to get into the cast. We had a long break. We had